What's good, everybody? Welcome to a new YouTube video on my channel where we're talking about NIL, name, image, and likeness. The first word on there is name. So you gotta have a great name to really even do anything with NIL. We're gonna start from the basis here. But first off, let me give you a little background on my NIL journey. So I came out of high school #1 in the nation for the 55-meter dash, which led me to going to NC State University, where I was running there for a couple of years. And then I took a gap year. And during this gap year is when they changed the NIL rules. So gratefully, I was in San Francisco, head of growth for a tech startup, and I had control of the budget. So soon as they changed the NIL rules, literally the very next day, I called up all my boys because all of my friends were still D1 athletes. I had just started running for state a couple months prior to that. So when they changed the rules, I called up all my people and was just like, yo, like, I'll pay y'all to post about food delivery. So I had a bunch of my boys posting about it. So I had some of the first deals of all time with NIL. And after seeing the growth of it after that gap year, I ended up going back to school at a HBCU at St. Aug University in Raleigh, North Carolina, being coached by Batman. And, you know, it was a great experience. And I was able to bring in 6 figures of my own NIL deals, working with brands like Gatorade, Nike, Under Armour, and many more to basically transform NIL all together. And I launched my own brand along with that. So now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. How did I make it happen? And my experience, you know, working on the side of paying athletes and the side of being the athlete getting paid. So this is a really rare experience. So make sure you're dialed in and you like and you comment if you have any questions, because we really got to get to the bottom of it and help you maximize your NIL opportunities. The first thing on here is your name. Name. What is your name? And if your name doesn't mean anything, no one's going to care and you're not going to get value. Your NIL isn't going to be invaluable. So how do you build up your name? And that's becoming great. So what does that take? That takes working out outside of practice, having goals, staying disciplined, staying consistent, knowing where you're trying to go, right? To really be great, you gotta have that in your mind. No great person ever accidentally became great. It was purposeful. Look at Jordan, look at Kobe, look at Jay Johnson, look at LeBron, right? It's like when I was a junior in high school and I had just started running track, my objective was to become the fastest in the state, fastest in the nation. And if I didn't have that in mind, if I didn't have that plan, it would have never happened. So that's actually part 1 about how to maximize NIL. Have a strategy, have a plan, so that way you can actually utilize all of your resources in the present moment because you're ready, you're prepared, right? Like, if you know what your uniqueness is, what values you bring to the table, you can strategically set up your major, because they're going to ask you, what major do you want to be when you're getting recruited? And you're going to want to know what you're going to do with your life early on. I know it's a lot to be put on a 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, but at the end of the day, it's your life, right? No one's going to care about your life more than yourself. So you might as well make a plan. No one's going to sit here and write up a plan for your life. So you got to do that and strategize how your name and what your legacy is gonna be. The next word on here is image, right? What is your image? And it's funny because it's literally what images are on your Instagram, what images are on your Facebook, your Twitter, on your TikTok, because that is the thing that college coaches are gonna be looking at when they're recruiting you. That's the thing that brands are gonna be looking at when they're gonna see in their meetings if they're gonna pay you, right? What type of content is this person putting out? So is your image in a way that's, you know, making you look like you're gonna be a star one day? Or what, are you nobody, right? Like, do you have no images? So now you don't have any type of, you know, context about what type of person you are, right? So that is your image and likeness. So to even get to likeness, you need to have a name and an image. And once you have that name and image, then they're gonna see, okay, how do people like them, right? Is there likeness in the good arena, or do people have negative connotations around your name? So when we're talking about NIL, this is what this means, because these three things are what brands are going to look at when they're deciding if they're going to pay you thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, right? If you look at the Ryan Williams case, he was getting paid $700K, and from one game they said, okay, his name, image, and likeness value has went up to $1.5 million. From one game, from one time of him improving his legacy, he's made about $1 million. So that's what you got to think about in high school. NIL starts in high school. You know, that's when all of the things that you're preparing for when you get to college is going to come into fruition. The second most important thing is time management. Knowing how to manage your time, or your time will manage you. It's such a fast-paced world when you're already in it as a college athlete, because you're going to have classes, you're going to have meetings, you're going to have group meetings for your classmates, and then you're going to have meetings with your team, and then you're going to have these doctor's appointments. You're going to have so many aspects. You're going to have practice. You're going to have there's so many things that go into it that is beyond high school, that is actually like wild to me. Hold on, let me turn this light back on. Like, the amount of things you're gonna have to remember in meetings and all these things. If you don't have a calendar, I recommend using Google Calendar. This is what actually saved me, okay? Like, utilizing a calendar that I can always open on my phone, on my computer, anywhere, and it sends you notifications and reminders on when you're supposed to be somewhere, because you don't want to be the guy that's late to meetings, or the guy that's late to class, or any of these things. So making sure you know how to manage your time and schedule out everything, especially when you're trying to build a brand and post consistent content, because now that's a whole nother layer to your being an athlete and being a student. So you're gonna want to schedule out time to make content, to edit content, because it's gonna take 30 minutes to an hour, right? So you can't just expect, oh, I'm gonna make content today, and then not have it scheduled and not have a strategy. Think about what, you know, executive producers go through when they're making TV shows. Imagine if they went to, you know, their set one day and was just like, yeah, I don't really have a plan. I didn't really put this in my calendar. I'm just gonna show up here and just make content with you. Like, no, that's not how it works. And you have to treat your own content like you're your own executive producer, your own creative director, right? So you're gonna wanna schedule stuff, plan stuff, so your content can come out as high quality as possible. You will be shocked on how much non-planning wastes your time, because the time you're just sitting there scrolling or playing a game or doing something, because in your like conscious mind you're not really thinking about, you know, everything you have to do, and you can let 30 minutes or 45 minutes slip out through your day from mindlessly going through life. But with the calendar, it's like, if every 30 minutes is set up, okay, this is where I'm going to do lunch, right after lunch I'm going to do this, right after this I'm going to shower and then do this, and then have this exercise, have this class, have this tutor, shoot this content, post it then, edit it here. Like, there's ways to get the maximum potential out of your time, and utilizing a Google Calendar and time managed blocks is a perfect way to set yourself up to be consistent with content, because you can set up weekly reminders. So every Tuesday at 3 p.m. right after practice, I'm gonna shoot one piece of content on Tuesday, and I'm also gonna do it on Thursday. And every week, you know exactly at that time you're gonna shoot content, and now you don't have to worry about, oh, was I consistent this week? Oh, I didn't have time. Oh, and you don't double book yourself. So now when somebody asks you, oh, are you available this time? You can look at your calendar. No, I'm actually shooting content. Oh, you want to come? We can shoot content together. Now that works. So it's like ways to set yourself up for success. This is the real infrastructure on how to maximize NIL. Next up is know your numbers for number 3, because putting aside all the numbers you have every week, writing that out, allows you to be in gratitude for what you've accomplished, all the posts you've done across platforms, and what audience that's bringing you. Even if you're doing 3,000, 10,000 views, think of it realistically. If you had 10,000 people in a room and they're all watching a video about you, about what you're doing, about, you know, the life you're living, then that's actually pretty good. If you told somebody that in 2003 that you had 10,000 people watching a video about you, then they would be amazed. So don't be afraid to write out the numbers, weekly stats and monthly stats. And this also allows you to set good goals. So now that you've hit 10,000 this week, next week let's go for 20,000. I did 8 posts last week when I did those type of views. Let me do 10 posts this week, and then now the next week, now your numbers are improving. So you want to set realistic goals, and knowing your numbers helps you with that. Knowing your numbers is such a vital aspect, even in conversation. Like when you're talking to somebody and you're like, hey, I do a lot of TikTok content, like, you know, yada yada, you know, they're just gonna be like, whatever. But if you say, oh yeah, I do TikTok content, I did, you know, 50,000 views this month, and I just started posting. Now in their mind, they're like 50,000. Now they're seeing dollar signs. Let me connect you with this person. Let me connect you with this guy. And when those relationships start to come up, you know your numbers. You writing them down every week, every month, and you can recite them to people, and it's now coming off as a real creator. This helps you market yourself, and it also helps you believe in yourself even more and push yourself to make more content. So when you're actually out there and you've started making content for a couple of months, you're gonna wanna build real relationships with people. Videographers, photographers, making sure you have people in your wheelhouse that, you know, you guys can build your portfolios together. Like when you're in college and you're an athlete, you automatically have that pool. So it's just like utilizing your athletic accolades, you being on a sports team, you making content. These videographers see that as value off rip. So don't be afraid to DM a photographer or videographer that goes to your school, because granted, they just started and they're mainly focused on school too. So they're just doing this as a side thing. So you asking, let's shoot content together, it's a no-lose situation. They're getting portfolio shots so they can pitch more people and get paid and show their skills. And you are able to post content that can help you go viral, and you have somebody to shoot creative ideas off of. Even if you have 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, as long as you have more followers than that videographer or photographer, you're providing them value, and they're gonna see that. So build key relationships, and especially when you're getting these deals come in, you have these people, you know, on standby, and you can maybe cut them a check from the check you get from the brand deals. And you can set up these deals with them prior to, like, hey, you helped me out with a couple videos, and once I start getting paid, I'll make sure to cut you in on deals that we shoot together. Another aspect to this is when you're getting those brand deals in, don't take every deal, especially if you're a freshman or if you're in high school. Like, trust me, once you get one deal, you're gonna get more deals. Just because this is the first person reaching out to you, whatever it may be, don't cut yourself short. Make sure they align with you. Make sure they're actually trying to invest into you. It's all right to get free products here and there, but make sure you're doing it only for a story post or something like that. Unless it's like $100 of value of product, you don't want to get a product that's worth $50 and do an Instagram reel post, right? Like maybe a story post, right? You know, unless you really already use the brand, you really like the brand or whatever it may be. So we went over all the foundational work and the psychological work, but to the nitty gritty of what NIL is content on social media and getting paid for it. But it's not all about content, actually. You know, you can also get paid for in-person experiences. Some people just get paid to go to the university. Content is one aspect of it. Content is for the people, the folks that, you know, they didn't just get the lucky, here's a signing bonus, and they're not the #1 recruit out of the nation. NIL, the majority of it is content, but there are the special parts of it that you can just get paid for who you are. And that goes to the first point about building your name up and being great. So if you already cracked the greatness code, you don't really need a lot of this info. This is for the people that are just in the average ratio. I mean, not that average is bad, because you can utilize your averageness to become great. Like we're about to go over right now about content. What you see as an average college athlete is the middle school athlete, the elementary school athlete, the high school athlete's dream. And you have to take yourself outside of your mind for a sec and see that. So your ordinary day, your regular day in the life video is inspiring and transformative to a middle schooler, okay? Because they've never seen that before. Like, even for me, like, I came out of high school with fascination, but I hadn't been on a lot of universities' campuses before. I've been in high school campuses. So when I got to NC State, it was mind-blowing. And I hadn't even seen any other universities, big universities like that before. So that actually goes to my first point of what to post. Because you're going to be wanting to post 2 times a week, 3 times a week even. So post facilities. Don't be afraid to post about your facilities and everything. I mean, if your coach is being strict about it, you can talk to that one-on-one, but there shouldn't be any issues recording in the facilities you train in. And they spend millions and millions of dollars on this. So you basically have millions of dollars of equipment around you and most likely good lighting. So you definitely want to do some videos in there, whether it's a dance video or just a vlog video. Show off your facility. Show off the gear that they give you, because they're already spending millions of dollars on it. You might as well capitalize and record it and post it. You see? Okay, next on the list is workouts. Your workouts is your everyday thing. Even when I started coming up, the first video that sent me viral was my warm-up, chat. No context, no text on it, just me warming up. Boom, 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 millions of views. Because some people, and it was in a good facility. I was in a good facility, and I did my warm-up, and that generated millions of views. Okay? The next one on here, dancing. So just hit it one time. It's a trend. Like, just if you can dance, if you danced in middle school, don't be afraid to click record and post it. Like, that's all content is clicking record and post it. So if you dance in one time and you post it, add some text on there, and next thing you know, you got a relatable post with 1 million views and 10,000 new followers. And make sure you wear your gear and you're in your facility. Wear your gear in the facility and dance. High School Musical was low-key ahead of his time, you know what I'm saying? Next on here is tips. So my speed tip videos have done millions and millions of views. Just showing kids what I heard from my coaches, because if you go to a big D1 school, most likely your coach is a legend of some sort. They're not just hiring anybody at these universities when they have millions of dollars of budget. So your coach knows what he's talking about. Don't be afraid to brag about who your coach is. It may not be Dion. My coach was Alan Johnson. It wasn't Usain Bolt, but he was somebody that had great accolades that I then posted about and spread to other people and say, Alan Johnson told me this and that and this, right? Next on here, your meals. People are going to know, what did you eat to become D1? What did you eat to be big, strong? And all this takes is writing out your meals or taking a video of each meal you eat. And if you're already eating it, see, that's the beautiful thing about being a D1 athlete is you're provided all these things, and you basically have to do all these things, and you already have your phone in your pocket. So now all you got to do is take it out and click record while you do the things you already do. So your meals, you're already going to be eating a lot, and they're most likely paying for your meals. So now just click record and show a full day's worth of meals in one video, or a week worth of meals in one video. Story times. So you're going to be traveling the world, or I mean not the world, but the nation, and you're going to be going to different places. You're going to be meeting a lot of people. You're going to have experiences as a college athlete. So the key stories, the relatable stories, the funny stories, make a skit out of it, or just tell the story like you're on FaceTime and you're talking to somebody, and boom, next thing you know, you have a relatable viral video and 10,000 more followers, or even more, 100,000 followers. Talk about the content, talk about the brands that you already love. I use this water bottle every day. I love it. I just talked about using Google Calendar. I love it. Don't be afraid to just name drop and show people the things that you like and the things that you're using to be a better athlete, to be a better person, to get closer to your goals. And if it's something that aligns with your major, even better. So, that's number 5 is what to post. And, like I said, you want to post 2 to 3 times a week. I'm telling you, follow this formula. You take these tips, I promise you will get some NIL deals like sooner than you think, right? Don't be afraid to reach out and be resourceful to people. Like the mom and pop shop the pizza shop, the ice tank shop. There's so many different shops that are pursuing athletes, and you being a local college athlete, you going out and outreaching, going to their facility, talking about how much you like their product, talking about how much you like their company or whatever it may be, and telling them, you know, would you trade your services? You may not have enough to utilize this one recovery center in your area, but they know you're a college athlete, and you offer them a video to have free services, and it's a win-win situation. They're getting content, you're getting to use their resources, and you're being able to improve. So when you do get paid for a deal, you already know how to edit, you already know how to articulate a brand's mission, and you've already taken the steps to be a successful creator, right? Like, the reason why Nike wants to work with me time and time again, and Gatorade saw it, is because they saw the quality of my content, because I have been doing so many different deals. So when I got the Nike deal, I knew exactly how to go about it. I had a videographer to call. I had the way to create a strategy. I knew what to do, and that set me up for success. So I hope this video helps and you can maximize NIL. If you want to get a media kit or sell digital products, make sure y'all tap into pillar.io. It's a great platform. I've been using it for years to sell my speed tips, to, you know, push out my brands across the social platforms, and to share my previous brand deals, all my analytics. So pillar.io/J. Here, I'll show it and pop it up to show you what mine looks like. It's a great link in bio for all your different platforms, and it helps you set up the perfect page for NIL success. So thank y'all for watching another YouTube video. Make sure you like